we'll make sure these are comfortable for you. And then just try to talk, into both.
Okay. If you can't hear me, please let me know.
Yeah, they'll let you know. I'm going to be stuck behind you.
Yeah.
You might have to say, like, if you want to take a seat or something.
Okay. Welcome. Welcome. If you can take a seat, please.
You're going to talk right into them. You have to talk loud.
Okay.
Their mic is kind of quiet.
Okay. Good afternoon. Please have a seat. Thank you so much. You can feel free to grab a drink or an hors d'oeuvre. I want to welcome you all here to our kickoff celebration for Family Promise, a wonderful organization. I've been a part of it since its inception in 18. And tonight we want to not only welcome you, but thank you for coming. I know the weather reports were scary, but you're resilient, just the way Family Promise is. So we're going to present a series of short vignettes to educate you what Family Promise is, what it does, why we need it. And to start off, we're going to play a song and a video. The song is called Family Promise. I created that with my musical partner, Joe Briccato. When you hear his voice, you'll just think it's magnificent. I'm musically inept. I write lyrics and concepts, and he does songs. So with that, I'm just going to let you think about one thing, and that is that all the people you'll see in our video were all actual clients that were helped by Family Promise. So we'll go ahead and start that, and then I'll turn it over to our MC in a minute to go through those other brief vignettes, okay? Joe Braccato. Now I have the distinct honor of introducing your MC for the rest of the evening in our short vignettes. It's Ed Schill. Ed and Molly are here tonight of the Ed and Molly Schill Foundation. They've done several things, community-oriented and philanthropically. So, Ed.
I literally didn't know that Dr. Rick had a last name after at least the first two or three meetings we had with him, because everyone calls him Dr. Rick. So I'd like to thank Dr. Rick and his lovely wife Jane for their commitment and their desire to move the ball down the field relative to homelessness in Ontario County. So I really would like to just take a second to them and their family and thank them for everything they've done. Thank Joe Broccato for coming up with this song. It really is a really heartfelt song of love, if you will. So thank you both. I am your MC, which means we start on time, everybody speaks quickly, and we end on time so we can get back to the bar. Rest assured we will do all of those. I'd like to introduce my wife, if she would stand up, Dr. Molly Branch Schill. She's the president of our foundation. I'm better at public speaking, but she's better at everything else. So I am, amazed when I think of when we wanted to hold this event. What a beautiful venue. I want to thank Canandaigua Country Club. I also want to thank Nolan's for the food today. They stepped right up. I don't know who came up. Nick Viola, Kristen over here from Nolan's, absolutely fantastic food. If you haven't had the cracker and the short ribs yet, you're missing something. So, Mike Sansone and his wife Sam for the open bar, beautiful thing. Thank you very much for them. We've got Jeremy Southern on the video from Robotech. He helped on this. And we've got Joe Angelino, who didn't want to be acknowledged, but I'm sorry, Joe. He does the AV, HVAC, and everything else. So, with that, I also want to just kind of talk a little bit about the early contributors and why are they important? Because they're the people that step up when they have no idea what we're doing. The Johnson Riccio family, Kevin Johnson's here. Kevin, I saw you somewhere. Thank you, Kevin, and your family. We barely talked to them about what we were doing. Their parents, Ket and Patricia Johnson, from Johnson Trucking, if you will, meant a lot. Family Promise meant a lot to them. They were big contributors, longtime contributors. We had a meeting up at L&B Bank, and they couldn't step up fast enough. Before we even had a picture of the building, architects, nothing. Those are the early contributors to the program. Also, the RICPA Foundation, Dr. Allison Holmes. I was getting a skin check, if you can believe it, and laying there, I told her what we were doing in Canandaigua, and boom, the foundation wrote a check, so that was fantastic. And also, early participants was Canandaigua Rotary, so a lot of people stepping up. We're in the first inning of this. More to come on what we need from you all here. But as you know, Dr. Rick said, we've got some vignettes to go through. Our first one, we wanted to talk about homelessness at 20,000 feet. We know there's homeless problems at the national level, the state level, the city level, the county level, the town level, and for many of us on our street. But I'll be one to say that when I first got involved with Family Promise, when our foundation got involved with Family Promise, I had no idea the magnitude. So we've asked the expert on homelessness in Ontario County, your commissioner, Ontario County Commissioner of Department of Social Services, Eileen Tiberio, to speak. We love her. She's not a bureaucrat, she's a commissioner, which sounds like she might be, but she's not. She's been on the ground level working for homelessness and social services since the mid-1980s. So welcome Eileen Tiberio to the stage so she can give us a little overview on homelessness in our backyard.
And I'm not sure many of my staff would agree with the fact that I'm not, an observation that I'm not a bureaucrat, because I would imagine they would say, oh yeah? So welcome, and thank you for being here with us tonight. This has been a wild ride, I have to say. I've been involved with Family Promise since the beginning. I originally came on as a subject matter expert when people started asking me, well, how many homeless do we have, and where are they, and all this, and I said, oh boy, okay. What day, where, what town, how are you going to define it, all that good stuff. But what I want to say to you tonight is something that's already been said. Housing is in crisis, especially housing for families in Ontario County. Ontario County is one of the few counties in the state that's actually growing in population. We have the highest median salary, household income, of any of the counties in our area. So no problem. Well, would that were so, my mother would say. Rural homelessness doesn't look like urban homelessness. We don't have people sleeping under bridges. We don't have people sleeping in the parks. You don't see them because my office shelters them. On any given night in 2024, we housed 190 people, including 23 families, every night. Think about that. That's more than 3 times the homeless families that we saw in 2020. Now, homelessness isn't an event, it's a process. So think about this. More than half of American adults report having less than $1,000 in the bank. $1,000 isn't even a month's rent at most places in Ontario County. More than 43% of renters in this county pay more than 1/3 of their household income just for shelter. 11.4% of people in this country report having 0 savings. And 40% of adults between the ages of 35 and 44, prime child rearing age, report having less than $500 in savings. So think about that. Put yourself in that situation, having that little space, that little give in your budget. So you imagine you're one of those, and you're doing okay. It's tight, it's very tight, but you're doing okay. And then it happens. A layoff, a death, a major car repair, a long illness. Then what? Okay, we know what to do. We cut your expenses, use your credit cards, try to find someplace cheaper to live, but the day comes. You can't pay the rent. Again. You can't find anything cheaper, and now you're getting evicted. A piece of paper, and you are now homeless, you and your children. You are homeless in what feels like the blink of an eye. So tell me, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Out of options, you swallow your pride and you go see my folks. Now you're in a DSS hotel. How do you make dinner? How do you do laundry? How do you get your kids to school? How do you hold your family together? Now what are you feeling? Embarrassed? Scared? Angry? And alone? Tonight, we're making a promise to the families in Ontario County. We promise that you'll have a place. You'll have a safe place, a welcoming place, a place where you can make that dinner, a place where you can sit at a table and help your kids with their homework, a place where others will make it possible for you to hold your family together while you get the rest of your life back online. Now what are you feeling? Hope. So I want to thank Family Promise and the Schill Family Foundation for making that promise, for helping us make that promise to the homeless families in Ontario County. And I hope tonight you'll make that promise too. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you, Eileen, very much. That was the 20,000-foot view of Ontario County. I'm going to invite to the stage how we're actually going to get it done, and that's with our executive director, our visionary, our quarterback, our leader, Todd Bernhardt. Unrelenting work ethic this man has. Very passionate. He was in the business world for 20 plus years, and he gave all that up for the fame and fortune of working for a nonprofit. And I'm telling you, this guy is passionate about homelessness in Ontario County, and you'll get that when you hear his presentation and when you talk to him afterwards. Todd, if you could come up and say a few words on how we're going to actually, move this ball down the field.
Thank you, Ed. So I started working with Family Promise as a volunteer in the early days, and I can't tell you the significant impact it made on my life. Just to meet these families that are just everyday people that are working hard, that want more for their children, that fall on hard times. I can't tell you how much I feel so grateful to be part of this, to be able to being a part of solving this problem, and for the partnership that we have to help move this ball forward. I'd like to take a few minutes just to share a little bit about Family Promise of Ontario County, share some details about how our shelter program works, and then share what our thoughts are on how this shelter is going to make an impact in this community. We're a local nonprofit based in Canandaigua, and we serve Ontario County families that fall on hard times that do not have a support system above them. Families that are faced with the trauma of homelessness, and they just need somebody there to say, hey, it's going to be okay. And we're here for you to help you define a path and work with you towards that path and that plan to help you get to stable housing and financial independence. Family Promise, we have 4 core programs. Shelter is one of our main core programs, is providing shelter and emergency and case management services for families. We also provide eviction prevention services, shelter diversion and stabilization for services for families once they graduate our program. Our stabilization program is very important because once families graduate our shelter program, our ultimate goal is that they never return back into chronic homelessness. So we work with them and continue from a case management standpoint even beyond after they graduate our program to make sure they stay on the right path and are sustainable. So we're here tonight to talk about our plans to increase capacity. You heard Eileen just a few moments ago talk about the crisis of homelessness in Ontario County. And you heard her talk about the rapid increase, 300% in the last 5 years of homelessness in Ontario County. That's not okay. And the fact that there's a lack of resources and currently not a family homeless shelter is certainly not okay. So we're here to change that narrative. So we certainly, I'm sorry, I went off script for a second, and that's what happens. So thinking about the numbers that Eileen had just shared, we realized that with 4 apartments and being able to serve 4 families at a time is just barely scratching the surface to be able for us to be able to truly meet the needs in the community. Because of this, we're incredibly grateful to Molly, Ed, Andrew, and the Schill Cares Foundation for their generosity and for all that they do to help support us in accelerating our mission and helping us towards achieving our dream of opening up what will be the first family homeless shelter of Ontario County. You guys are absolutely amazing, and we appreciate you so much. Once the shelter's open, it's going to enable us to be able to provide shelter to an additional 7 families at a time with 30 individuals at a time. We'll be staffing the shelter 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and because we will be on site with the families on a regular basis, we're going to have a lot more hands-on interactions with the families, which will lead to much stronger outcomes. It's important to understand that our shelter program is a hands-up program, not a hands-out program. Families that engage with our services and come into our shelter, they sign an engagement agreement that has very defined goals. We work with them very closely. Our team works with them to really understand their unique needs and to really establish goals that'll help them lead to stable housing and financial independence. So we work with the families, and more important, we work with them to create plans, action plans to help them work towards their goals. And we meet with them weekly with regular touch points throughout the week to make sure that they're on the right path, to track progress, and to provide coaching and resources to help them be successful. So you heard it here, family homelessness, this is certainly a fight worth fighting. We can't do this alone. Fighting family homelessness takes a community. And just looking around in this room, I can't tell you how much my heart is filled seeing how many of you took the time to come out here tonight just to learn about the work we're doing and learn about how you can help. So I really want to thank you for your time tonight, and we're looking forward to what we can do to solve family homelessness in Ontario County. So thank you.
Thanks, Todd. Appreciate that. 495 North Main Street. Who hasn't seen it yet? Anybody? It is the beacon of Canandaigua. It will be the entryway to Canandaigua, and we are determined to make this the Taj Mahal of homeless shelters. I used to say Ontario County, but Dan Peters made me start to say in the United States of America. So anyone that's taken a tour will know there's a lot of homework to be done. There's a lot of work to be done. That building was empty for quite some time. I can't help you. I'm not even allowed to hang a picture in my own house. So we hired somebody that knows how to hang a picture in their own house. We've worked with Dan Peters on several projects, our own personally, one at Lollipop Farm, a few others. There's nobody better in town. Dan's with Labella Associates. He's their director of architecture there. He's our project architecture. He's our project manager. He's way more than that. This guy is passionate about Family Promise, about making this the best shelter one could make. And if you've seen everything we're doing, you're going to be really amazed when we're done. And Dan Peter is quarterbacking the entire project. Afterwards, when we're done, I would corner him with all his drawings. I've done it a couple times. It's a little over my head. But Dan, please give us a little overview on what we're doing at North Main Street.
Well, if you want to see the Taj Mahal, just go up the road, Ted and Molly's house. There's a barn going up, if you haven't seen it, with a big cupola. I worked on that as well, and I just walked through there the other day, and I'm impressed. Whatever the Shills do is top-notch. And this is no different. And as an architect, I understand, why we're all here, the need, all that. But as an architect, I look at the building, and when I knew it was a cobblestone structure, which is, I believe, if I'm saying this right, I want to get my facts right, but I did a little research. It's the only one in the city of Canandaigua. And it was built around 1835, 1840. There's a couple of additions added. The back section of the building was added as well. I am all about trying to revitalize a building that has some history, some structure, and some significance. And I'm very blessed to be part of this project, to be able to do that, in addition to provide the obvious need on the housing side for homeless folks. And as I unveil this project, it's midway, not quite, but maybe a quarter way through construction. We have some drawings over there for anyone who wants more detail. There's some construction photos there. They are framing. They've done their demo. Some porches are going up. And my role is just to push this to get done, hopefully before the deadline, because that's about all I can do to add to the benefit to this is get it done quicker. And working with Todd has been a blessing. Todd and I dialogue a lot behind the scenes, and this guy is dialed in to get this right. So I can just tell by his passion on the questions he asked me behind the scenes, and it's all about just getting this done quicker so you can use it quicker. So, like having you part of this, and I enjoy being part of this. I'm blessed to be part of this, so thank you very much. If I'm here, if there's any questions you want to ask about the drawings, they're all over there, so we can take a look at them later.
He's almost political on that front. Did you notice he said deadline but didn't give you one? Speaking of, one thing I failed to mention, and I look out at former Mayor Ellen Palomini out here, it is important to us that this building retain historical prominence. Our sister-in-law, Kim Branch, is on our committee, leading the committee and making sure that windows work, paint's right, working with Dan on that. That's super important. So those of you, a couple people asked us earlier in this cocktail hour, that's super important. You don't need to tell us because we're already ahead of you, but we appreciate hearing about it. This is the time, I call this the call to arms. I'm a big history buff on the war. I used my last war quote, which was, "In war, there is no prize for second place." I used that before, and I've got a new one tonight. It's by Winston Churchill. And he said, "History will be kind to me because I intend to write it." I am going to say to this room tonight, we're going to modify that. History will be kind to people in this room, to Family Promise, to everyone in this room, because you know what? We're going to write history. We're going to write history on homelessness in Ontario County, in Canandaigua, because it's unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable. We didn't ask you here to come write a check and leave. We want you to be part of the program. We need your commitment. We need your focus, your time, your family, your friends. We do need your money. We do have a form on your table that you can fill out, but we need more than that. We need you to be part of the program, and we need you to be intense about it, because we're not going to fail. We're not going to fail. Because if we fail at this homeless shelter, there will not be a second one, and that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Sorry, I get a little emotional about this whole topic, but lots of ways to give. Lots of ways to give. We're here to help you. We've had people say, well, geez, I'd like to make a big contribution, but can I do it over 3 years? Come talk to us. Of course you can. We've got many ways to help save tax planning strategies. Come talk to us. We'll help you. You're old enough to take a distribution out of your IRA. We can make it not taxable if you gave it to Family Promise. Lots of game plans. We're here to help you. Get engaged. We're not going to fail. You're part of the program. You would not show up on a windy Canandaigua night to a lake party if you didn't believe this was important. We're all going to be hanging around. This is a family. This is a big family now. We need everybody committed to make this happen. Help us. Help us get there. Help us write this history of homelessness in Ontario County, starting with Canandaigua. Thank you very much. We're here to help. Bar's open. Food's still kicking around, so thank you very much. Exactly on time, Dr. Rick, by the way. There is a pledge form. There is a pledge form on your table. If you don't have one, come see me. There's also a statement document, which is fantastic, Todd. well done to you and the team for that. Shelley, beautiful. We're also, if anyone's interested in joining any of the campaigns, capital campaign, just want to shoulder up with us, just let us know. Just let us know. This is a team event.